The band The Weeknd uses a lot of occult symbolism and satanic references in both his music, lyrics, and music videos. So I listen to The Weeknd and I like them, but I just believe people should be knowledgeable and understand what they're actually listening to. So here we go with a breakdown of some of their music. So there's a lot of instances where The Weeknd has shown his devotion to Satan in his art. And the most obvious I'll start with is in 2017 in Copenhagen. He was doing the song Reminder, and you see the word Satan flash on his backdrop. So I guess you could argue it's art. When there's this much money involved, I mean, he's one of the biggest pop stars in the world, grossing billions of dollars. There's so many eyes on him, specifically from the industry. There really isn't any accidents at this level. So this was specifically planned, obviously. And why else do you think he would be flashing the word Satan subliminally behind him? And you can go on YouTube and find the video of this. And I wanted to talk just a little bit about his lyrics, because you have to look at this from the big picture. You have to look at the overarching themes that he uses in both his lyrics and videos. And in his lyrics, he loves to reference the phrase the fall, whether it's talking about the fall time, or in this lyric, he says he's in your city until the fall, and then it's time for him to fly. So the fall would be, metaphorically, it would be a reference to the fallen energies, so the satanic energies, the fallen angel, etc. This next lyric, he says he's on call to the fall, and follows up by saying if you're not with him, you're against him. So being on call to the fall, in this particular song, it's called King of the Fall. So the fall would just be any form of darkness. It's putting him at the top, everyone else at the bottom. And that's generally the ideologies of, the fallen angels. It's all about power and showcasing their power over others. And then we go into the Starboy lyrics here. And the first lyric says he comes alive in the fall time. So that's both metaphorical and literal. And the ones that really disturb me from this song, though, is the first verse. And it looks like he's talking to his former self, because in the video he actually murders his former self. And he's saying, I'm trying to put you in the worst mood, pee one cleaner than your church shoes. And that's just him saying, like, he makes so much money now that having a sports car is far more powerful and above his old self, where he used to go to church. And then if we look at his music videos, it gets even more interesting, because if you watch them in chronological order, there's a gentleman in a few of the videos who looks a lot like Satan, and he acts a lot like Satan. So this first image is from the Can't Feel My Face video, where he actually throws a lighter on stage at The Weeknd, who no one is listening to him. And then he throws the lighter and lights him on fire, and suddenly everyone loves him. And then you've got the video for Tell Your Friends. It starts with The Weeknd killing himself and burying himself. And then he's dancing around, and the Satan individual comes up to him. The Weeknd shoots Satan in the head, killing him, and drives away. So this leads up to his next video, The Hills. And The Hills starts with The Weeknd getting out of a crashed car. And it's presumably the same car he was driving at the end of the previous video. And he's walking, finally gets to a house, and he comes into a room with, guess who? There Satan is again, waiting for him with his harem of women. And at the end of the video, it zooms in on The Weeknd's face again, and we can see he's quite distraught and sad. And so finally, we've got the Starboy video, and there's so much going on in this video. It would take a long time to break it down, and so I'm just going to give a general overview. But once again, it starts with him murdering a former version of himself. There is just so much murder in The Weeknd's videos. It's crazy. And so after he murders himself, The new version of himself walks up and down the halls of his home, and he's looking at all his awards and plaques on the wall. And then he happens to come across a glowing red cross, and we get the symbolism of the all-seeing eye, which is a very, very popular occult symbol. And this time it actually has the cross inside the eye, which is some very interesting symbolism. And given the rest of the video, I have to imagine it's just mocking the Trinity and mocking Christ in general, because in the very next scene, he starts destroying the whole house with the cross. And in the midst of him doing this, he starts dancing, and holds up the devil horn symbol with his left hand as he has the cross in his right hand. And he's using the cross, dragging it throughout the house, knocking awards off the walls with it. And you could potentially say that this is him having, renewing his faith in Christ, and perhaps he's knocking the awards off the wall to show that he's found himself as a Christian again. But if you just listen to the lyrics to the song, the lyrics are all praising money and materialism and doing cocaine, buying expensive tables specifically to do cocaine on. And if that's not enough, he ends up leaving the cross with the house, like it's just a piece of trash like the rest of the house. So I'll try not to make this video too long. I just wanted to show you that there is indeed quite an amount of occult symbolism in the Weeknd's body of work. Here we see a black cat sitting on his bed. Black cats in witchcraft, most people are aware of that. The cat turns into a panther as they get in the car together. Panther is usually strength, courage, transformation, things like that. And I'll just wrap up by saying that unless you've had a history in things like tarot card reading or astral projection, most common people don't realize just how symbolic the spiritual world is. Like, anytime you're venturing into the realm of spirit, symbolism is just huge. Symbolism and emotion are two of the things in the forefront. So when you see a lot of these popular artists putting a lot of strong symbolism, especially occult symbolism, in their videos, there often is a reason for this.